Okay, these are the rigs for Incognito. I have the nodes view set up, like really organized so you can find everything. The arms, like anything that's labeled either left or right, it's going to be your left and your right. So left arm is his right arm, but it's your left on the screen. So just keep that in mind. Anything that's labeled like that, um, that's the orientation for it. Everything has individual pivots and pegs. I generally recommend sticking to the bones. You have to have this tool activated in the corner here, the transform tool, and then you can move either individual points on the bones or rotate the arms. You can also rotate the hand, but it will deform the sleeve. So if you're rotating the hand for any reason, you should probably just move this pivot right here, and then use this rotation tool, and then you can rotate. This does rotate independently, so probably this one then. Nope, just use the hand tool, and then move the thumb as necessary. What else? Oh, to undo the bones, just have the deformation you want selected. Any of the deformations are going to be this light blue. Any drawings are going to be this mid blue, and any composite is going to be this dark blue. You don't need to touch the composites at all. That's just for organization and placement within the rig itself. This is the general composite. You won't need to like necessarily change those unless like you want something to be changed like overlapping the other, but I think it's like pretty good. You won't need to touch it. These also have their own pivots. Generally stick to the bones. I feel like that's going to be the best way to do everything. Yeah, click that and then this button to go back to the default for all the deformation. The lip syncing has all of its own jaws already done, but you can always adjust those if necessary. The jaw itself is in the the underlay layer. You just go to here, circle select. I'm not on the layer, that's why it's not selecting. Mouth layer, circle select, and then you can move here. This tool right here, apply to line and color art, will change all of the layers in here. If you only want to select the jaw tool, then, or the jaw layer, then you just move it here and deselect that. His entire body is rigged so he can bend at the waist. You probably won't need to touch most of his body, like especially his lower body, just the upper body, because like he's sitting down. There's different hands you might see like flickering in and out. You change those with the drawing substitution. You need to have the layer selected. So let's say I want to play with his right hand. You go to arm right, find hand right, and then drawing substitution. Hand right only has 2 different layers, but the thumbs are separate so you can move them independently. So this is the natural fist for this hand, but you can also add this thumb if you want. Yeah, I think that's basically it for this one. Everything's pretty organized. If you have any questions about like what things mean, let me know. All of them have individual pegs for movement. Yeah, the collar can also move independently, so if you rotate his head, that's not necessarily an issue. You can just have it sway. Just be careful of clipping through, because his coat was a little funny, so just make sure it doesn't extend past that. And if it does, you can adjust the neck a little bit. Okay, for the front-facing view, let's turn off the... Yeah, okay. Anytime you're manipulating it too, like I thought it was way easier to look in the node view and it might look intimidating, but like I highly recommend just using the node view. The timeline gets very like simplified and difficult to follow, so it's definitely not something that I like recommend looking at. Okay. For this one, basically the same thing. Mouth is fully rigged with the jaw, or like the lip syncing is fully done with the jaw. So like the mouth layer has both the bottom jaw and the mouth drawings on it. Again, that's going to be in the underlay layer. You just circle select. Oop, I'm not on the mouth layer again. Circle select and then move. No big deal. Make sure you're selecting all of it because sometimes the pieces can be a little different than the other ones. What am I saying? Oh, sometimes the vector strokes, like you might exclude them by accident. So like you see like these little things. Just make sure you're like selecting the entire object if you do that. Okay. The deformation, again, like this is the deformation for the whole body. Press this button to see every single deformation possible. He's got several hand options. The front view is like most of the storyboard. I liked this thumb, so I left it here. But this is when he's front facing on the counter. Again, the thumbs are different, so you can switch them between. This is in the arm left. He's got several different options. There's only, again, his right hand doesn't do much for most of the animation. It's just the left hand holding the cigarette. So I have, in the storyboard, he has his hand placed sideways. So I've placed the cigarette in this hand. And then this is for when he's smoking. When you're doing that, again, just switch it up. I've already placed it so that the cigarette faces the correct direction. So if it like it looks awkward there, that's because I've already planned it so that it like faces the correct direction when he's smoking. Again, this to reset. Select the whole arm and then click it. These points are parented off of one another. So like this is a child of this point. So if you're looking to like move the entire arm, obviously you would click this. But if you want to reset, you have to click the parent. Like all of the functions, you have to click the parent. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Just be aware if you move the hat, it has a separate brim, main body portion here, and then the ribbon is also a separate piece. The deformation head you won't need to worry about. That was for jaw movement, but if you want to do individual jaw movement for a specific frame, this is here for you to use if you want to. It again just moves the jaw. If you do that, you would need to delete for that frame the underjaw or hide it or something because it's technically over top because it's a part of the mouth and the mouth is over top the head. Yeah. The neck you need to rotate based on the neck peg. Okay. I'll fix that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I don't know why it's up there. That's interesting. I think that's basically it though. With the arm deformers, the hands are kind of the most complicated thing here. And the lip syncing, but like everything else, like if you use the deformers, should move correctly.